Hey, it's Courier Girl, and I am really excited. Back in January, so a couple months ago, somebody named JayB Sr asked me to do an expense tracker for courier work. And I've had a couple people ask me since then, like, how do you do your expenses and your income and all that kind of stuff? And so I thought about it for a long time and I came up with something that I think you guys are going to like. It's a way to track your income and expenses and give you information on how much you're making after your expenses and something to give your tax preparer at the end of the year as well. This is, I hope, easy to use for people who are not even good at accounting, who aren't going to keep a set of books, who just want something basic. And I tried to make it really super easy. Now, let me preface this by saying I've been doing accounting for 35 years plus. That's what I did before I hit the road as a courier, and one of the reasons that I got out of it is because my eyes just can't look at a computer all day anymore. I still like the work, I still love the numbers, but man, I can't sit in an office staring at a screen anymore. I just can't. And so that's why I love being out on the road and being a courier. So, all right, let me take you to it, and I'm going to go through it. This might be a long video. Hopefully not as long as my job search videos, but I want to be really thorough so that you understand how to use it. All right, so in the video description below, there's going to be a link to the expense tracker, but I haven't done the video yet, so I don't, so I just put it here in this document. So we're going to go here, and I opened it in Firefox because I wanted to do it as if I'm you. In other words, not from where I created it, but as an end user. So I opened it under a different Google account. So when you open it, when you click the link on the description below, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a spreadsheet with lots of different tabs at the back, and it's going to say Courier Bookkeeping Tracker at the top. Now, you will have to be logged into a Gmail account in order to edit this or do anything with it, because see, it's in view only mode right now. You won't be able to do anything with it unless you are logged in, and I'm logged in over here under one of my other accounts. So what you're going to do once you're logged in, and there are instructions right here, and it says instruction video, link will go here. So after I upload this to YouTube, I will put the link there. So if you ever need to watch this again, it'll be easy to find. All right. So the first thing you're going to do is, before you use this sheet, log into your Google Gmail account. I just told you about that. Then we're going to click the upper left where it says File, and we're going to make a copy. All right, copy document. Now I'm going to call this, let's see, you can call it what you want, but I'm going to call it Courier Bookkeeping Tracker, and then in capital letters, I'm going to call it template. And I'm going to put it in my Google Drive. So if you have a Gmail account, you have a Google Drive. So this will be actually saved online, and you can access it from your phone or tablet or from your computer. So I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to do that. And now we have the template. So see, it said make a copy. It saves it to your Google Drive, and click the name of the file and rename it. But we did that when we made that, so I'm going to update that instruction to say name it, to say how to name it when you're making it. Then bookmark it. To bookmark it, all you have to do, if you have your bookmarks bar turned on, is pull it down to the bookmarks bar. All right, and then it's called Courier Bookkeeping Tracker Template. Okay, then the next thing you're going to do is make another copy. All right, make a copy and call it, we're going to take the copy of, we're going to go 2022 Courier Bookkeeping Tracker. And again, you can call it what you want, but put the 2022 in it. All right, so now you have 2 copies of it, and the template is what you're going to keep in case you mess things up on the other one, you can start over fresh. That's why I had you make the template. The second one, this is going to be the one that you're going to use to update your information. And again, pull it down to your bookmarks bar and keep it so that whenever you need to access it, all you have to do is click on it. Now, another thing you can do if you got a lot of stuff on your bookmarks bar is you can add a folder called bookkeeping. Oh, caps lock was on. Or whatever you want to call it. And then you can drag these here into your bookkeeping folder. And then when you click on or hover over, click on bookkeeping, if you were in Chrome, you could hover over it. And it's going to show you both of those. That uses less room on the bar, but that you don't have to do that. So, okay, so we can close the original one because we don't need that anymore. We can close the template because we don't need that anymore. And now we're on 2022 Courier Bookkeeping Tracker. So this part is all done, all right? Then there are quick notes, and you never have to do this again, except for in 2023, you can open your template and make a copy and rename it 2023. Okay. Then there are quick notes for the tabs. So this is not just one sheet, it's a whole bunch of them. See all these? So you can click on any of these tabs to make it the main tab and then put information in. So the profit and loss is yellow right here. You are not going to put anything in there. It is pulling information from all the other ones and it's going to do it for you. So don't change anything there. See, do not enter anything here. Income is green for income. See the little green stripe at the bottom? That's where you're going to put your checks and deposits. Anything that you make from your courier work is going to go in there. Then your expenses, they're all the red tabs. There's a whole bunch of them and they actually go off the end. And you can use this little right arrow to keep scrolling until you get to the end. It's 2 scrolls to the end, and you can scroll back to get to the beginning. These are all the expenses, and I made one tab for each, and it will make sense why I did it. Okay? So then there are some other tabs at the end. They're also red, and that's anything that's not included that you would like to add. All right? So how to enter information, we're going to go over that, but you're going to put the date and then the amount in the correct month column. It should be super easy. And then if you have questions, email me. You can also comment on the video, but if you really, really want to make sure I see it, then email me here. And if you need a custom sheet, like you want something different than this one, or you want something that's like this one and customized to you, I can do it. I can't do it for free because it does take a lot of time. And you know, time is money, but I can do it for a super reasonable cost. So, all right, then there's a double yellow or double line, not yellow, just a double line. And then it says write your own notes below. So as you come up with shortcuts or you want to remember things, just use all these lines to write notes and you can just go down like 1,000 lines or something. You can write it in the first box. And I'm just making, see, it'll just keep going. So it's not going to cut off at this box right here. All right, so let's go on to, we're first going to go on to the income and we're going to come back to these other ones. All right, so your income, you're going to put here. And let's say you get a check on January 5th, 22. All right. You can put a description. You don't have to. That's up to you. If you are making money from more than one place, you might want to just note where it's coming from. You can put paycheck. You can leave that blank. That's only for you. All right. Then how much did you make? You don't put anything in the total column. It's going to total it up for you. So this is January 5th, so you're going to put it in the January column, and you made $800. 8,000, wow, 800. Now, see, January's 800, the total's 800. Now let's say you got paid on the 20th, and we're going to leave that blank, and you made $1,200, all right? changes it to January 2,800 plus 1,200, changes it to your total of 2,000. Now let's say you got paid on February 5th and you got $900. Oops, see, I almost messed up. You want to put that in February because it's February income. $900 in February, $2,900 total. It's totaling it all the way across. Let's say you took some time off and you got paid on March. Today's the 20th. And you got $1,600. All right. So now you've made $4,500 for the year, okay? And I hope you see how we're doing this. We're just putting the date and then whatever month it goes in, it goes in. And you don't have to do anything about these green ones up here. Now, what is this doing to the profit loss? It is pulling these numbers over. So it is pulling the numbers from the income column. See, do not enter anything on this sheet, okay? Income is now $4,500 for the year, $2,900 and $1,600. So see, $2,900 and $1,600. So it's basically duplicating this line over here. All right. So there you have it. And you can go all the way across. We're not going to go any further here, but that's just to show you how to do it. Okay. And if you make a mistake, you can change these. You can erase them. You can change the amounts. You can change the dates. Let's say that this is actually April. Oops, we made a mistake. It's actually April. So you just change this to 0 and change that to 1,600. See how that works? All right. And it doesn't matter if they're out of order. Okay, as long as you put it in the right column, that's all that's really important. Okay, now let's go to expenses. I tried to do it on one big sheet and it just got too overwhelming. So I'm like, you know what, to keep it easy, I'm going to make a separate tab for each major expense. So here we have gas. You can do this different ways. I mean, if you really want to be picky, you could put each gas receipt in there, or if you're like me, I use just one credit card for gas and that's the only thing I use it for. So when you get your credit card statement, you could just put all of it in there, like the total charges for the month. Now, if your credit card statement goes over 2 months, you might have to add up like which was January and which was February, but that's still much easier than putting it all in. So let's say you're just going to total it up manually and put everything in for January. So you just date it at the end of the month. All right. And you can put January gas. All right. And let's say you spent $800. All right. Now, February gas. Let's say that you spent $700. Okay. So it's totaling it up just like it did at the other one. You go over to your profit and loss. And now it's telling you that you spent total of $1,500 on gas and this much in January and this much in February. Pretty cool, huh? Then you go, so we're done with gas, and we go to repairs and maintenance. And I put a little note here, include repairs, maintenance, supplies for your vehicle like wiper blades, light bulbs, fluids, etc. And gas and repairs and maintenance are not tax deductible when you are taking the mileage deduction, but I like to track them because they're like real money that I spent, so that makes sense. So let's say that on January 15th, you got an oil change. I do tend to use more descriptions in this one than in some of the other ones. So January, it cost $50, all right? And then let's say in January 22nd, you bought new wiper blades and they were $45, not $4,500, $45, so 45. And let's say that, then let me click for some reason. Let's say that you didn't do anything else and then February 1st, let's put wiper blades, another oil change, and notice how it fills it in for you if it's really similar. So another $50. You know, we drive a lot, so we get lots of oil changes. And then let's say, oops, look, I did that wrong. I put it in January. So $50 in February. That's going to be your main thing, is remembering to put it in the right column, and you can fix it, so it's not a problem. 2/22/22 oil change rotation. All right, it's okay that it goes off a little bit. You can still see it up there. And let's say that that was $75. I'm making up numbers here. I don't know what the real numbers are. And let's say we're just going to leave it for January and February. So go over to your profit loss. We got 95, 125, and 220 total. We got 95, 125, and 220 total. All right. So that's where you're at so far. So that is repairs and maintenance. Parking and tolls. Notice how this has a little asterisk at the end, parking and tolls asterisk. That's because I think it's tax deductible. Check with your CPA or tax preparer, but I believe that it is tax deductible on your taxes, even if you take the mileage deduction. So if you have parking and tolls, put them here. If you don't, then like where I live, there are no tolls. So, and I very rarely pay parking. So maybe a couple times a year I'll have something here. If you don't have anything to put in, just leave it blank. We're going to leave it blank. Auto insurance. The amount you put depends on how much you use your vehicle for work and how much you want to track it. So let's say that you have it on your personal policy with 2 other cars that you own, you know, your spouse's car and your kid's car, or an extra car. You can go and you can figure out, okay, this much of my auto insurance was for my work vehicle. Or you can say, well, I'm using the same car for work and not work, and it's 50-50, and so I'm going to count half of the half of the auto insurance, or I'm going to count 75 of the auto insurance, or you know what, I don't even care, I don't want to track auto insurance. So you would put that in there according to what you want to track. All right, this is for your personal information. I don't think this is tax deductible. Check with your tax preparer. So I did not put an asterisk next to it. So let's say your auto insurance comes up for let's say you pay it on 2/15 and you pay it for 6 months worth. 6 months. All right. And it is $600. Okay. So there's that. It totals it up. Now let's say you don't want to do it that way. So 6 months after February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Let's say August, you decide that you're just going to pay $50 a month because that is your, all right. And then September, 50, October, 50, November, 50, December, 50. You do it every month for 6 months. So you would put 9, 15, oops, I forgot to put the 22, 10, 15, 11, 15, 12, 15. And notice how it is December, right? December and November is November 15th. I'm going to freeze these panes for you so that the date will always show up. I'm going to do that for you before I give you this spreadsheet. So it'll be a little different. So like when you scroll all the way over to November, the date will still be over here. So I'm going to change that. So then you go back to your profit and loss, and you've got 850 for auto insurance, 600 in February, and the 50s in all the other ones. Pretty cool. And your total vehicle expenses so far is right here, $25.70. Okay. So other vehicle expenses. This is anything that is like a catch-all, and you can put a description on what it is. I don't even know what would go in here because I put, let's say you bought a Road Pro oven because I have a Road Pro oven. I use it all the time. That's not repairs and maintenance, and that's not auto insurance, and that's not parking and tolls. So that's where I would put this. So 11522 Road Pro oven, and let's say it was 5256. All right, that's something that for me, it's a business expense. I wouldn't buy it if I wasn't on the road. It's not really a repair. It's not repairs and maintenance. I would call it maybe supplies. And it's not insurance or anything. So maybe I would put that there. All right, let's go over. Click your right arrow and we've got supplies. Okay, supplies are supplies needed for your business, like a dolly cart, tape, pens, stuff like that. And I would say to put that there. So let's say in May you bought a dolly, all right, and you just got the cheap one at Home Depot, and it was $34.50 with tax. All right, so you have that. Now, I might put the Road Pro oven under supplies, so you can decide whether that goes under other vehicle expenses or supplies. Let's say that I had to buy a clipboard. I bought that. Let's say mine broke and I had to buy a new one, and I bought that in January and it was $15. All right, so there you have it. And again, we'll go back to the, we'll do it now. Profit and loss, and we can see that other vehicle expenses was here for our Road Pro oven. Supplies come to $49.50 so far for the year. All right, so next is uniforms. Here it is. So uniforms is clothing that's required for work. Some of it may be tax deductible. Check with your CPA or tax preparer, and I put an asterisk next to that. So let's say that the company you're working for gives you a t-shirt and you have to wear a certain jacket, but you have to buy it. That would go under uniforms. Let's say that you have to wear a certain color of pants or skirts or whatever you wear on the bottom. All right, that would go under uniforms because it's something that you would not have bought if you weren't doing this job. Like for one job that I did, I had to buy khaki pants. I don't wear khaki pants. I haven't worn khaki pants since high school. Just not my preference. But I had to buy 2 pair for this job because I was going to do the job every day and I had to, switch on and off laundry and all that kind of stuff. So I put the cost of those pants into uniforms because it was part of my dress code, part of my uniform. Okay, so again, check with your tax preparer to make sure you can do this, but I'm pretty confident that if you're buying it just for work, that it works. Also, I had to buy a raincoat, and it wasn't a, stylish $500 raincoat. It was like a yellow, keep me dry, ugly, work-looking raincoat. I counted that as part of my uniforms. You could count it as supplies too, but I counted it as part of my uniforms because I had to do that because I was going to be outside in the rain. So let's put something in here for uniforms. All right, date is 4/15/22. I'm making up a date, and let's say that I bought, did I spell it right? Khaki pants. And let's say they cost me $60. All right, there you have it. Now it's going to go over to your profit and loss. Okay. Now we have business insurance. This is different than auto insurance. If you are required to carry liability insurance, auto insurance, whatever, not auto, liability insurance, cargo insurance, any kind of insurance that your employer requires you to pay for would go here. Now, sometimes they take it right out of your check. So let's say your check is $1,000 and they take out $50 for insurance and you get $950. So in your income, since $950 went into the bank, you could put that over an income and then you wouldn't put anything in insurance because it's already been taken out. But if you're a real stickler, then you would put you made $1,000 and then you would put $50 for insurance. And it would adjust it right on the profit and loss. I'm going to skip insurance for now because I've just explained it to you and I think you get it. If you're unclear on this, then leave me a note in the comments or send me an email. All right, travel. Sometimes if you have to go like overnight, you may have travel expenses, okay? Now, if your employer pays you back for hotel, you have to stay in a hotel overnight and you get reimbursed for that, then that's not really out of pocket, so I would not count it. This is travel that you have to pay for because it's part of your job, and expediters have more of this. They have to pay for where they stay. Sometimes they get allowances for that, sometimes they don't. But if you are picking up the cost of travel, this is where you would put this, all right? Business meals, food that you buy on the road that is tax deductible. I am really fuzzy on what this means. I know that there is such a thing. I know that your tax preparer will know what it is, but sometimes if you go over a certain amount of miles from your origin, like you travel X number of miles and then you have to buy a meal, then that is considered to be a business meal, or you could call it under travel too. If you are meeting with a potential company that you're going to contract with and you have coffee and you pick up the coffee, then you pick up the cost for both of you or even for yourself. That is a business meal. Okay, if you are driving around and doing your route and you go through the drive-through to get something to eat for lunch, I do not think that is a business meal. I think that's just a regular meal. So find out what the rules are from your tax preparer so that you can keep track of this, because these business meals, true business meals, are deductible and you're going to want to give them that information at the end of the year. All right, non-business meals. This is only if you want to track it. Like, let's say you're like, oh my gosh, I've gone to McDonald's every day this week, and you want to track how much you're spending on food at the gas station, food at the drive-through, just that kind of stuff. It's only for your personal information that you would do this. Then you could put like the date, like, okay, 1/15/22, I went through the drive-through. And you can be specific about which drive-through if you want to. And I spent 11 on a meal, okay? And then if you track this even for a couple months, you'll get a really good idea of how much you're spending on just the food that you buy on the road. Okay, let's say that 1/18/22, you got coffee and you got a donut at the gas station, $3.75. Okay, again, you don't have to track this at all if you don't want to. In fact, you don't have to track anything if you don't want to. This is just to help you get a really good handle on your costs. Okay, so the next thing is other, and there are other, okay? These are things that I just wanted to leave time for, like or leave space for, like if there's something else that you want to track that I don't know about, then you can track it here in the other one, other two, other three, there's 5 others. Now, if you track it, I want to show you this. This is something that you can do. Profit and loss statement. So here's all of your vehicle expenses right here. Here are all of your other expenses right here, and here are the others. I haven't put anything in other yet, okay? And here are your total expenses, and it's going to tell you how much you made at the end of the year. All right. So what you're going to do with other, if you decide to use other, let's say that you want to track, I don't know, what would a courier want to track? Let's say you're required to do continuing education. So you want to call this education. What I want you to do is change this up here where it says other one to education. All right. You're going to change it there. You can also change it down here. Call the tab education. To do that, you right click and you rename it. All right. Now you've got education, other two, other three. I don't know how these two got out of. You can also slide these tabs back and forth. It should be 2, 3, 4. But we called this one education. And let's say that in January, you had a course that you had to take. And let's say that it was $2,000. You would put that, oh, I didn't do that in the right spot. $2,000. All right. See, there's me messing it up. But I fixed it. All right, so $2,000 in education. And we changed this from other one to education. So look what happens over here in your income. No, not in your income, duh, in your profit and loss, okay? So education, it changed it from other one to education. And that's because we changed the red word up at the top, okay? You could change it back to other one, and it would change profit loss back to other one. This comes from that red word at the top, okay? So let's change it back to education. For the purposes of our experiment here, our tutorial. So education was $2,000. Now check this out. I put it as a large number because I wanted to show you that now we are in negative numbers. We lost money for the year. It's because we haven't filled in everything. This is just for illustration purposes, okay? So this was your total income based on adding these up. These were your total expenses based on adding these up. And you lost money here based on adding all of these up, okay? And you can look at each month. In January, I lost this. In February, I lost this. In April, I made this amount. In May, I lost this amount. And as you fill in for the months, you know, we only filled in a few numbers that we made up, but as you fill in for the months, you're going to get a really good idea of where you are profit-wise. All right, so that is a profit and loss. Now there's this double line, and now we're going to look at mileage. So you get a mileage deduction from the government of 58.5 cents per mile, okay? So 58.5 cents per mile in its mileage. And you are going to put your mileage here. Now, this is not a mileage log, okay? It is not a mileage log. It is just a place for you to put your total mileage down. So you're going to keep a separate mileage log. We talked about that in an earlier video, which I will link here. And I think I gave you a spreadsheet you could print out and use. Like not a spreadsheet, like a sheet for a mileage log, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to put your start date here, and let's say your end date is 1/31/22, okay? You can do it by the day, by the week, however you want to do it. Just don't overlap. Like, don't have this start in January and end in February. You always want to at least have an end one on the last day of each month so you can put the miles in the right columns. Okay, let's say you just kept your mileage log and you added it all up at the end of January, and you know that you drove 6,000 miles in January. Okay, and let's say that you did from February 1st to February 7th, let's say that you did 1,500 miles. So, oh, that did dollars. I'm going to have to change that into numbers, not dollars. I'll take care of that before I give this to you. Don't you worry. So, you can do it like by the week, you could do it by the day, you could do it by the month. The important thing is, again, to put it in the right columns. So what you do is look at the profit and loss, and you see that the mileage from the mileage sheet in January was 6,000, in February was 1,500, and so you've done a total of 7,500 miles each year. And what this is doing is this is saying that it's taking your 7,500 miles times 58.5 cents, and this would be your mileage deduction. Now, this is really rough numbers, okay? You've got to check with your CPA or tax preparer. I am not an expert at this. I'm an expert at like accounting, bookkeeping stuff and spreadsheets, but not at tax stuff. And I put it in yellow here, all right? Now, this is your possible taxable income. So what it's doing is it's taking your income, it's subtracting all of the asterisk expenses and your mileage deduction, all right? So anything with an asterisk, because I think these are tax deductible, I don't know. So these and parking and tolls are the ones that I think are deductible. And if you are doing something down here that is in the others, that is tax deductible, that is not figured in. So you're going to have to figure that in yourself. If you are good at spreadsheets and you can change it, then that's cool, do that. If you're not that good at spreadsheets and you want me to change it, I can do that for a very reasonable amount of money, very reasonable fee, because that's a small change. It can be done fairly quickly. Okay, so then this is saying that after it's all said and done, your taxable income is actually negative $11.86. Wow, not very much, is it? So you wouldn't owe any tax. Now let's change the income numbers a little bit so that we're actually making some money. 03, 05, 22. Let's say that in March you got $950, 03, 2022, and you got another $950. Let's just make it nice and even. On 2/5, you got one check. Let's give you another check on 2/20. And let's say you really kicked butt and you made $1,100. All right, so now you're up to even more money. Okay, so let's look back at the profit and loss. Now your taxable income is about $3,000. So if you check this out, okay, this says you made about $2,700 real money. This is real money after cash that you paid out. Doesn't matter if it's tax deductible. This money went into your bank account. All of this money went out of your bank account. You paid for gas. You paid for repairs. You paid for auto insurance. You paid for this other vehicle expense and your supplies and your uniforms, and you had that meal that was business related, like legit business related, and you had a non-business meal that you wanted to track, okay, and you paid for that course that you did. So these are your real expenses. Vehicle expenses plus real expenses equals your total expenses. This was what came out of your bank account, out of the money that you made. So you got $7,500 in deposits for the year, and you paid out $47.61.78, and this is your profit and loss. This is like your real money profit and loss, okay? And then you can see it by the month. It's going to be different every month. Like you had a big hit because of that course, so you lost money in January, but you made money in February, March, April, and then we didn't put any income in for the rest of the year yet. Okay? And This is adjusted for taxes because you cannot deduct gas and repairs and all those vehicle expenses if you are taking the mileage rate. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so that is it. I hope that you love this. I hope that you use it regularly and it helps you get a handle on and keep track of your expenses and your income. And I really want feedback on this because I worked really hard to make this for you guys and to try to make it easy. Even if you don't know anything about spreadsheets, if you don't know anything about accounting or bookkeeping or anything, all you have to do is put stuff in the boxes and in the right columns. That's pretty easy. You know, if it's in January, put it in January. If it's in February, put it in February, and it's going to add up everything for you so that you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so again, if you have questions, here's my email. I am couriergirl@gmail.com, or you can comment on this post below and I will get back to you. If you need a custom sheet made for you, then send me an email. If it's very similar to this and you just need some tweaks, it's, not going to be very expensive at all, just a little bit of time, so just a little bit of money. If you need something completely redone, then we'll have to talk about that differently. But just for little tweaks, it's not going to be much. Okay. And I will put the link to this video right there at the top of this sheet. So if you ever need to go back and look at it again, like, oh, I forgot what I'm supposed to do here, then it'll be really easy to find. You can just click it straight from the sheet. Okay, that's it for now. Excited to share this with you. I hope you guys love using it as much as I loved making it. Peace out, and I will see you on the road.